We are so happy to have actor and filmmaker Cleo Tellier on the show today, which is unusual, really, considering your age. I mean, I've talked to lots of actors your age, but to then do /filmmaker, you sit in the director's chair just as often as you are in front of the camera. When did you first start directing? I
made my first film, The Silence, at 19. Now I'm 21.
Wow, and it's not your last film because you've already moved on to other things. We'll talk about that in a minute. So The Silence is a short documentary being screened at film festivals around the world. Right now it's in Texas?
Yeah, it's getting screened at the Finland International Film Festival.
So fun.
Yeah.
And it's scooped up already 12 awards. What are the awards that you've won?
I've won a lot of different awards. For directing, I've won one for makeup, camera, a lot of best short documentary, so all kinds of different awards.
It's pretty amazing for your first directorial film.
Thanks.
Yeah. It's a documentary about kids who grew up in the foster system.
Yeah.
What inspired you to want to tell this story?
Well, it's mostly about child abuse, so sexual abuse and physical abuse. And one of my close family member was really was badly sexually abused as a kid. And I think growing up, I knew about it, and I knew the abuser because I would still see him and know about it. And that was kind of like traumatizing as a child. So when I was like 17 and 18, I started realizing what this was all about and the consequences that situation had on my life still. So I think, you know, for me, filmmaking, like I do that, it's kind of like expressing myself. I don't do it because it's fun or just because I want to do it. I do it because I have to do it. That's how I express myself. So I usually talk about topics that are important to me.
And what an important topic this is, too, and to have that personal connection.
Yeah.
It's your way of sort of exorcising the demon and getting it out and trying to right the wrong, right? Even though none of that was your fault. So these kids that you talk about in this film, how did you find them?
Basically, I contacted an organization called An Arc of Hope for Children, and they'd put me in touch with adults that were abused as children. So I interviewed many of them, more than 10 of them, and then I selected four of them that I thought it could work.
Was it a surprise for them to be contacted for this?
I think so. Some of them, they've done interviews about it before. They're trying to talk about it to help other people. And some of them, it was their first time ever sharing their stories publicly.
When you're interviewing someone who's got such a personal, traumatic story to share, you have to be delicate. There's an art to that because you want to be able to draw them out and without scaring them back into their hiding place, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I interviewed them through Skype because they live all around the world. So it was kind of different because I wasn't there in person. And most of the interviews were between 1 hour and 2 hours. So it would mostly be them just talking. I could tell that they really needed to talk about it. So I just basically let them talk, and when I had some question, I would just ask, but it mostly went really well.
You just opened the door and they walked through and did the storytelling themselves. Wow. Well, this film is now being shown, as we said, all over the world. Are these still photos from the film?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So the camera work, I can see why you won awards for that because those shots are quite dramatic.
Thanks. My DOP, Nathan Riddle, is really good.
Yeah.
He actually did the camera work for my next film, Mishka.
Or tell me about Mishka.
Sure. It's actually a film. It touches the same type of subject matter. I don't want to reveal too much because it's kind of the ending is really surprising. But yeah, it's also it's not a documentary, it's a fiction, but it's a drama.
Okay, so this is your first fictional film.
Yeah,
and is it a feature length or a short as well?
It's a short, yeah. But I'm working on my first feature and my first TV show right now with a network.
Goodness gracious. Meanwhile, oh, by the way, you're acting in so many things.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the things you are currently doing. So you're on, you're Rianne in Degrassi.
Yeah.
You're Chelsea on YTV in Max and Shred.
Yeah.
You're Julie in The Stanley Dynamic.
Yeah.
Your voice can be heard. Oh, you're going to be in Lost Girl as well as Lost and Found Music Studios. And then your voice can be heard all over the place because they use you to do the French dubbing, right?
Exactly. So I've done the French dubbing of a lot of films, actresses my age, Abigail Breslin, Chloe Grace Moretz. So I do the French voice for Quebec and France.
That's brilliant. That's a lovely little niche market you got going on there.
It's fun.
So your life is extremely full.
I try.
That's amazing. This film that we were talking about, The Silence,
Yeah.
right now it's in Texas, making its way to Toronto at some point.
Yeah.
We're hoping in time for hot dogs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So let's keep our fingers crossed about that. Are these actors that you used for these shots here?
Yeah, these are all Canadian actors with the Canadian Union ACTRA.
Must be tough for kids to have that makeup done, makes them look like they've been abused.
Yeah,
How do they-
actually, yeah, because their makeup looks so real, but they were actually so good and really natural. I was surprised because I didn't really talk to them about the subject matter because I didn't want to traumatize them. Some of them were like 5 or 6 years old, you know? So nobody really told them what it was about. They just had the makeup and I would tell them like, do this, do that, and they would just do it.
Oh, good for you. See, now that's a trick of directing.
Yeah, but I mean, I auditioned like more than like 200 people to find these specific actors that were right for the part, so.
How has doing the directing now for the documentary and your first fictional, how has that changed you as an actor?
I think it changed me a lot. Like even in my audition process, I understand much better what directors are looking for. And I used to get really disappointed if I didn't get a role, but now I understand it so much better. Like sometimes you see an actor and they're so good, but they just don't look the part. Or there's just like something about them that makes it like you can't choose them, even though you really wish you could.
That's right. You never know if you're too short, too tall,
Exactly.
too fat, too thin, too pretty, too ugly. You just can't know.
I know.
So now you know to just let that go.
Exactly.
Oh, well, that's good. And you're 21 years old and you've done all of these amazing things. Somebody like you often has a number of things on the go, as in your head at least.
Yeah.
So after Mishka,
Yeah.
what's next? You said the feature film.
Yeah, I'm working on a feature film right now, and I'm working on my first TV show, the one that I wrote. So this is a French TV show. It's actually bilingual.
We'll have
and
to have you back to talk about that.
Yeah,
Now we're
for
out of
sure.
time. So to go online to look for more information about the movie, facebook.com/Tellier Cleo. Thank you so much.